All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for coming. My name is Todd Brous. I'm your host for the evening. I'm here with Susan Schultz and Ashley Wilson, and we would like to welcome everyone to HBAP Startups. So let's get started. For those of you who are new to the Startups group, we have a few announcements at the beginning of each meeting. We'll do some short networking breakout rooms, and then we'll come back together for our main event. And first off is our mission. We're here to help foster and fortify an innovation and entrepreneur community coming out of the Harvard Business Analytics program. And our goal is to provide our members with the tools, knowledge, leadership, and confidence necessary to create and grow their businesses from the ground up. Susan.
And there are many, many ways to get and stay in touch with us. So there's our website. There's also our YouTube channel where presenters that have agreed to let us post their presentation, all of their good stuff is up there. There's a newsletter that you can join and you will get notices from us about what's upcoming, what cool things are coming up. There's the Slack channel if you're in HBAP. And then, of course, bring a guest, bring somebody that you think might love this community, love hearing more about cool things that people are thinking about and doing. And then always a reminder for all of us on the call that we are posting these publicly on YouTube. And so we've got a lot of cool speakers coming up to round out the rest of the year. So today we have Swin. We've been telling you about what she's been doing for the last few weeks. So we're excited to have her here. And then next week is that Wednesday is the night before Thanksgiving. So we're taking a break there. And then on December 4th, we have Anna Cheniyuntai, who is the founder and CEO of Apis Core. And what they do is specialize in 3D printing buildings. So that's pretty cool. But she actually her story goes way beyond that. She comes from Siberia and now has founded a company with aspirations to put sustainable housing on the moon and Mars. So that ought to be really, really interesting to hear from her. And she is here thanks to Kelly Kimball. And then on December 11th, we have Clisonda Armstrong Grandison, who is currently the director of design for Alaska Airlines. And she recently left United Airlines to go help Alaska, but at United Airlines, she was responsible for the revamp of the whole digital strategy for all of United Airlines. And she's worked for many different companies, Chicago Tribune, IBM, Apple, and she also has had several startups herself. So she's going to come and talk to us about her journey as a Black woman in a kind of traditional man's world, and then also talk about her startups. And she may also talk about how do you really differentiate your brand. And then just before the Christmas and other holidays, December 18th, we have Mag Atem, who is the CEO of Elim Technologies, a startup that she founded. And she's also a project manager for Atrium Health. And I met her when I went to Cameroon, and Mag is also the director of women in data science for the country of Cameroon. And so she is incredibly passionate about how do you use AI to actually improve productivity in companies. That's a lot of what her startup does. So she's going to be talking about her journey and also some of the cool, neat things that she's doing in AI as well. And then it so happens this year, the next 2 Wednesdays towards the end of the year are the Christmas holiday and then New Year's Day. So we'll start up again that first full week in January with some additional programming. So our code of conduct, just a reminder, this is such a cool space for people to come and talk about their journeys, to bring their ideas for discussion and questions. And so we've really created, as with all of you, this inclusive, safe environment for these kinds of conversations of collaboration and confidentiality. So as always, all rights are reserved by the presenter. And we also really follow Francis Fry's 5-to-1 ratio on feedback, which is people react better and absorb better with positive feedback. So for every 1 piece of tart or pithy feedback, give 5 of good positive feedback. And then always a requirement, no personal recording of our sessions because we are honoring our presenters. And then also always anything you want to talk about, any speakers you want to bring, just reach out to Todd, me, and Ashley, and we will help you make it happen.
Awesome. Thank you, Susan. All right, let's do some social networking breakout rooms. I'm going to open up the rooms and I will see you guys in about 5-6 minutes. All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. I hope everyone had a good time in their breakout rooms. Just a little reminder, please, at the end of the evening, when you leave and you exit Zoom, please, there'll be a little pop-up, little web page of a survey. Please do fill that out. We do appreciate the information and the feedback that you give us. And just again, a reminder that the recording tonight will be made public on our YouTube channel. And then after Swin is done presenting tonight, please do stick around for some overtime. We will stop the recording and we will hang out until whenever everyone wants to fall asleep. All right. And now it is my honor to introduce tonight's speaker, Swin Hwang. Swin is the founder and creative director of TheNo2 Eyewear. With over 12 years of experience as an art director specializing in brand design, she's transformed a bold idea into an award-winning brand that's been recognized for its minimalist and innovative eyewear. And despite having no prior background in eyewear design, Swin developed a product that won 7 international design awards, redefining comfort, durability, and sustainability in the industry. Swin has collaborated with a number of small and mostly unknown clients, such as Pepsi, General Electric, Morton Salt, Voya, Ceres, Bloomberg, IBM, Stratasys, Bluescape, Reddit, Xerox, Wayfair, Affirm, and Time. Companies we've never heard of. She's been featured in the book Rotate about how 5 innovative women are rewriting the story of business. She was also featured in Women's Wear Daily, Vision Monday, and Accessories Council magazines, and she's also been showcased at the Taipei Fashion Week. And her numerous awards include, but are not, to name a few, Good Design Awards, International Design Awards, A Design Award, Muse Design Awards, AC Design Excellence Awards, NY Now Accent on Design, and the London International Creative Competition, to name a few. So now, without further ado, is our custom here at HBAP Startups. If we could all please, let's briefly unmute ourselves, and let's give a warm round of applause to Swin Huang. Swin.
Woo!
Thank you for joining us tonight. I've been looking forward to this for quite a long time. Let me stop sharing. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me here. And I'm super, super excited and humbling to be here tonight. And I'm kind of nervous right now, but still like so exciting to meet you all. And I hope my story and my journey, my experience of building TheNo2 can inspire you in any kinds of way. So let's get started. Does everyone see the screen well?
Yep, you're good to go.
Great. All right, TheNo2 Eyewear. So give me a sec. So a little bit about myself. My name is Swin Huang, and I'm the founder and creative director of TheNo2 Eyewear. And prior to building TheNo2 Eyewear, I have over 12 years of experience in creative industry, mainly in creative agency, working as art director, focusing on brand design and digital design. So for brand design, it's basically including, like, for example, company's logo, your packaging design, your web design, environmental design, campaign design, everything that is visually or experience related to brand. That's what I did. And for my past experience in creative industry, I have been working ranging from corporate company to startup company. So the selected clients here was like IBM, Reddit, Bloomberg, Xerox, Morton. So basically my experience there is working for those companies to building something beautiful, but at the same time making meaningful connection with the customers and with the clients. And I really believe in user-centered design that really remove the friction and improve people's experience. Because creative, the first thing is, okay, the thing is beautiful, but the end goal is how we can really improve people's life and experience. And that's what I do. So let's talk about how did I started from being in a creative industry as an art director and designer and pivot to be an entrepreneur and founding the No2 Eyewear. So because I grew up in an entrepreneur family and my parents are entrepreneur, my brothers, my parents, my brothers, my uncle, my auntie, they are all entrepreneur building their business in different industries. So I think it's natural for me to really want to build something on my own. And because after over 12 years in the same industry, so I kind of start feel bored and jaded because like, although I have different clients, but somehow what you do is somehow stay in the same framework. So I have been thinking, okay, what else I can do? I really want to create my own. And there is one day I think of one thing that is so close to me is glasses, because I wear glasses since I was a kid. And then my experience with glasses wasn't pleasant, I will say. Like the glasses always so heavy, slide down my nose and it hurts my ears. And it's like, it's very uncomfortable experience, especially like wearing almost like 18 hours a day. So that's why with this experience, I start to research on the people's experience wearing eyewear and realize actually lots of people have the same issue as mine, but everyone take it for granted. No one even realize, okay, the problem is a problem. They just think, oh, this is how the glasses is designed. And then that's where that I see the opportunity that there's a big part of the eyewear design that is not solved. So that's how I started. And one of the fun facts that although my background is in brand design, digital design, I actually did not have any background in eyewear design or any connection in eyewear industry or manufacturer. So with that, and that's how I started. And with this fun facts, I have to really thank Google and internet to get me started, because without any connection, but that's really how I discovered so many treasures, so many information, so many knowledge on internet, even before making contacts with people in the industry. And let's talk about, okay, who is the No2 Eyewear? So the No2 Eyewear is a minimalist brand with an innovative twist on traditional eyewear, designed for those people who value style, comfort, and functionality. It addresses common issues like discomfort, heavyweight frames, and frequent repairs found in traditional eyewears. So first, I would love to talk about the process of building the No2 Eyewear product. And then start with user problem that I mentioned a little bit before about my experience. And so here you can see, there are a couple problems. And I think like I saw many people wearing glasses, and probably you all have one or two or three issues of this here. For example, the frame slide down the nose, and heavy frames create pressure on your nose. So a lot of times you will have that red dots on your nose. And a lot of times when the frame's heavy, your ear really hurts, like it pinch behind your ears, and which leads to the discomfort and headaches when wearing glasses. And also besides the comfort and fit for the face, there is also a problem like the frames are easily broken because it's not designed well. And also because there is so many screws in your eyewear that leads to like you have to just frequent repairs, or like your screw get loose easily, and then there's a lot of repairs happening. So start with these problems. With these problems, I start to look into the market, how the eyewear market is right now, and where the No2 can sit in the market. And with the research, I found a lot of issues. So from the industry-wise, the market is actually monopoly by just one single company that is called Luxottica. So right now, so many eyewear brands, shops, and also including insurance company. That's actually all monopoly by just one same company. So that's why the sunglasses, the eyewear industry, like the glass is so expensive. Like you just change your lens and it is like $500 for you to just get a pair of eyewear. And I think with these issues, and I really want to find a sweet points that the eyewear still have that quality, but it is a reasonable price that no matter who you are, you all can have the opportunity to really enjoy a nice quality product and eyewear. And after the market research, I started with the prototyping. And for the journey, is definitely not one straight shot that, okay, I got this idea and it's correct. So with the prototyping, actually idea started with adjustable eyewear. Like you can change the bridge width and your frame width and also your earpiece, because the face is a 3D space. So that's why the idea started with that. And then, so here on the left side, the bottom image, you can see there's a first prototype. It has the measurement on it. So that's like the initial concept. And with the first prototype, we realized the construction of the frame is not sturdy enough, because there are so many components that is movable. So it just break easily. So after this, we pivot the idea to more modular idea, creating different sizes of eyeglasses. And for the first prototyping, actually, we didn't abandon the idea. It actually gave a, for the glasses, it become our measurement tool. So in user testing, besides people wearing our prototype of modular glasses, it also provides a measuring tool for us to really get the information in terms of the measurement of different facial features. And for the user testing, we actually invited a diverse group of people to get their feedback on fit, comfort, and functionality across different facial features, ethnicity, and genders. So for example, I'm an Asian, I have a really flat nose, and then a wider face, versus if you're a Caucasian, you probably have taller nose and narrow face, yes, and narrow face and longer head depth. So with this, like there's so much variable to it. And for the user testing, we really got a lot of good insights in terms of size and how people's experience wearing glasses, like even before or after, like how they put the glasses, how they maintain the glasses, in how they use the glasses in their daily life, on and off the face. So with all those research, we came to different solution, and we focus on different category in terms of the solution. So first, I'll start with the lightweight design. So we use Japanese stainless steel that is super thin. So you can see from the picture that the thickness of the frame is actually thinner than the credit card. And then on the right side, because of the material we use is so light, so the weight is like only 0.7 ounce, equivalent to 7 pennies. So basically it's 2 to 3 times lighter than the standard glasses. So the idea, the lightweight design is really to remove as much pressure as we can when wearing the glasses. And for optimized fit and comfort, because from our research, we realize everyone's facial is different, but in the market, actually, you kind of just see one size fits all solution for the eyewear market. And also, I think for the eyewear industry is lack of education. From our research, we realize not many people, like for a t-shirt, there is size from extra small, medium to extra large, versus not many people really know the eyewear actually offer different sizes, from the frame length to the temple arm length, and also the bridge width. There's so many sizes happening, but consumer just don't know. So our solution here is use the modular sizing to enhance adaptability. For example, like for my face, I will require a wider width, but probably shorter arm, versus some people might have the narrow width but longer arm. And then with our the on the right side, you can see the material is very flexible, so it's super easy to adjust the arm and also adjust the nose pads that can really fit, like further adjustable to fit your face features. And we also have, this is our innovative part, zero screw design. So you can see from here, the picture, the left side is our frame and the right side is traditional barrel screw hinge. And you can tell like how minimum the no2 eyewear screw versus other brands, just make it super simple, like no screw, and it's very no screw ends, like the hinge design is super minimum, because we try to make the engineer as simple as possible, because the simple the eyewear is, actually the more durable it will be. And on the right side, you can see when we have no screw, the arm actually don't get loose versus screw barrel hinge, because over time the metal will distort it and your arm will, the temple arm will just get loose, and to a point that even if you try to screw back in, it will never tighten back as the new eyewear when you buy it. And because the eyewear is so minimalist, but you can see from the video, it's super durable. Like you can just twist it, bend it, do whatever you want, because there's no any screws and there's no any welding joints, and the material is so flexible. And because of these, like it just enhances the durability when you wear glasses, and it really cut down a lot of times when you just accidentally sit on your glasses, or a lot of times you just fall asleep on the glasses, and when you wake up, you realize your glasses is broken. That happens so much to me. So the final products that we have four sizes, from the round one to oval one to square one to aviator, and it comes with three different colors: black, silver, and gold. So that's the product. But besides this amazing product, we need to build a brand. So right now, I want to talk about the process of building the No2 Eyewear brand. So when you have the product, the glasses need a place to live in, so which is the packaging. And you can see for the No2 eyewear brand is heavy on blue and red. And the reason why the color is so strong is because most of the eyewear brand in the market, the packaging is focused on a lot of black and white, and just make it super simple at minimum. So I think in order to stand out in so many brands in the industry, I decided to pick on blue and red that really clash with each other, but at the same time just grab people's eyes when they see the packaging and the brand. So the goal is really when you see the color, and I want the customers to just think, okay, it's the No2 eyewear right away. And then, so besides the packaging, we also work on the our brand photography and the brand campaign videos. And here are some of the behind the scene of the process of how we create the brand video and photography. So we start with styling, and you can see there's a lot of color, like yellow, red, blue, like still very primary strong color. And the reason being because the brand color is so strong, red and blue, and I want to incorporate more primary color just to grab people's eyes. And especially, I truly believe we should wear the glasses, not the glasses wear us. So I think for the first thing is you should see the person, then see the eyewear, rather than, oh, the eyewear wear you, the eyewear dominate you. Because I believe in people are the first, product is the second. I mean, product is still good, but people is always first, because the product is designed for people. And then here we had an amazing crew that producing our brand assets. So we work with production company, photographer, editor to work on the brand video. And here is some of the behind the scene picture that we had. It was a really fun process, but at the same time, super long hour, because in production, like everything need to squeeze in just 1 or 2 days, because there are so many so many people working at the same time. So the speed needs to be quick. And here's the result of the brand photography. You can see a lot of primary color, yellow, red, blue, and like you will see those color first, but at the same time, the eyewear is so minimum, but paired with these primary strong colors so well. And you can still see the kind of minimum, although it's colorful, but you can see that minimum vibe to it. And here's the brand trailer video that I would love to play. So I think the trailer video really showcased that high end, but at the same time there is fun aspect to it because it's so colorful, and I would say it's very dynamic compared to a lot of luxury brand. They still focus on like more minimum aesthetic and also more like black and white or subdued look and feel. And here is some marketing material that with the brand, the photography, the video we have, and how it becomes some marketing material. So for example, the postcard that go with the eyewear product, and also the catalog book, because I for the eyewear brand, there is two sectors. One is direct to consumer and one is B2B. And for the catalog is mainly for B2B clients, to showcase what product we have, what's the product feature. And besides those physical touch points, we also develop a IG try on feature. And for this, the purpose of it is, besides, because I will say the try on experience is not necessarily that exciting, but with the animated background, like there's much more engagement experience with the customer. And besides the engagement, like people is able to share it on IG story, because the experience actually fun. It's not just okay a person and just wearing a glasses. There is some design elements happening in the background. So the purpose the IG filter is like, besides the trial experience for customer, is also an opportunity to enhance the visibility in the market and social media space. So I want to talk about why the name, the number 2. So I just want to ask you all, do you want to take a guess why the name, the number 2? Any guess?
I have a guess.
Okay, so. Oh, you have a guess?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's it?
I'm guessing because you never have the first pair of glasses you ever own.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always going to be like a number 2, right? And you're trying to be the number 2, like the perfect number 2. That's what I'm guessing.
That's a good guess, but no. So the number 2, why it's called the number 2? Actually, the number 2 for slim is actually shit. So the number 2 means the shit, and the idea is that we don't need to be the number 1. We only need to be the shit. We only need to be exceptional. That's the idea of the number 2. Like, okay, it's the shit. So with the brand and with the product, and here's are the awards and recognition the number 2 eyewear has gained. So Todd mentioned briefly, so we have several international design awards, and these are all eyewear design, product design and eyewear. And it was featured in magazine like WWD, Vision Monday, which is a big magazine in eyewear industry, and AC is a big organization in fashion industry. And Shout Out LLA is a media platform really focused on entrepreneur story, building the brand. And also the brand is featured in this book called Rotate. They focus on 5 innovative women that rewriting the history of business. And for my chapter is about human-centered design, because for the No2 Eyewear, or for everything I build, I believe it needs to design for people, not just design for its aesthetic or beauty of things. And also featured in Taipei Fashion Week, you can see some clips of the fashion walk. So after knowing the brand, knowing the product, and its amazing product. So what about the No2 now and next? So the business is actually sunsetting at the end of this year. But the reason being, so the brand actually had the brand this year is 4th year to 5th years, and for the past 5 years, I actually learned a lot about building business. And besides that, I'll say the dynamics in the eyewear industry is I'll say it's kind of a struggle for small brands. I would say in reality, like when the brand is small and there's no, compared to big brands, the budgets on marketing is definitely, it's harder for a smaller brand to stand out in the market, especially right now it's a internet e-commerce world. So I'll say business side, it's doing, but at the same time, it's hard in terms of keep the No2 going. So I think after a long consideration, after this amazing 5 years, I have really take a hard decision to sunsetting the business. But I think this slide is what I really want to talk about, is what I learned. And so the first thing is definitely a deeper understanding of myself, because this is my first time being an entrepreneur, my first time building a business, and it's definitely an eye-opening experience. As an independent business owner, I had to wear many hats, like developing a product, building a brand, to maintain the relationship with customer, vendors, manufacturers. So there's so many things going on. And through this journey, I discovered that how much I love to build something from the ground up. And I realized, like, no matter how long the hours, and I found myself really energized and passionate about like developing product and creating a brand, which is more focused on creative side of the business. And however, when it comes to running the business, the day-to-day tasks like promoting the brand, managing the budget, maintaining the relationship, these are all about running a business. And I realized I start to I think this responsibility drained me. I start to feel unmotivated because I have removed myself from doing creative work that I love to do. So I think with these experience, I understand what I really love to do and where my passion is. Because before building a business, I thought I can do anything, and when I really doing it, I think my body and my soul is telling me this is not, that part of the business is not really what I love to do. So my biggest takeaway is really like do what I love to do and lean into my strength, because I know when I do what I love, it really amplify my energy and make me just unstoppable. Because like when I do design work, I can just keep going, keep working, and I don't have to sleep. I can still keep working. Yeah, so it's really, I think this is a really big part of me, really understand myself, because I think a lot of people thought they know themselves, but actually they don't really. Yeah. And for the second one is mistake are okay. It's part of the process. Just be patient. So since it was my first time developing eyewear product, because I didn't have any experience or connection in eyewear industry, and so many things my first time building eyewear product and running a business. So the whole journey is full of learning experience, and definitely I made plenty of mistakes from like working with the wrong partners, mismanaging the budget, and not bringing in enough resource to support the brand growth. So these are all the mistakes, and probably more than that. I just list out some. And at the time, I was really hard on myself making those decisions, and I didn't realize that for the mistake and trial and errors and all the setbacks are all part of the process in order to lead you to the right decision and direction. And just really takes time and patience to see it. And so like I think actually the biggest mistake is afraid to make any mistakes. That's the biggest mistake. So actually I made a lot of mistakes, so I didn't make big mistakes. And for the third one, is gain diverse perspective by wearing many hats. So before starting the No2, I work in creative industry and mainly in design agency. So really my focus that time is ensuring the design were strong, the clients were happy, and the manager is happy with satisfied with the result. And somehow like when in design industry, I didn't have to manage client relationship because account people will do that. And I don't have to manage the budget because there are some other people will work on the budget. So with that, I only need to focus on what I need to do is making good design, clients are happy. And with the experience running my own business, on the other hand, really require me to do all the things day-to-day work. So I will say I'm like the director of any kinds of director of the No2 Eyewear. I have to talk to customer and connect with vendors, talking to manufacturers. Those things really gave me a lot of perspective in terms of from those experience, because all different roles, all different party in the circle, they all have different point of view and goals to achieve what they need to do. And with that, I realized, okay, for example, I am a creative person. I always want to do a design that is so good. And when a lot of times a really good design, it requires good materials, good engineer, and which means the cost of the product is going higher. But when it comes to managing the budget, we have to control the budget. So a lot of times I have to learn and compromise in this stage. Which part of the design should be phase 2 in order to achieve, okay, we have this MOQ, minimum quantity. So like, for example, this is an example how I really learned to balance from different point of view. And at the same time, I think what I learned a lot is I become more empathetic for all different parties, because when I was a designer working under creative agency, I only think one thing, good design. But right now, besides good design, I have to think about how I manage the budget, for example. And even with a good design, is it really good design for customers, or is it really the design that for our retail partner needs? So there's a lot of perspective that I have to look into it to see, okay, what everyone's thinking, and balance to make a really balanced decision in terms of what's the best for the No2 to moving forward. And the next thing I want to talk about, mental health really matters. So in the process, I'll say I spend about 85% of my time managing day-to-day tasks of running a business and really leaving just little room for creative work. And the stress of it just like take a toll on me. I start to feeling like depressed. I'll say for the first 3 years, the feeling of depressed start to growing on me, and like to a point that I couldn't really fully present even when I spend time with my friends and doing the things that I used to love. I just feel nothing. I feel like I'm just a person with a physical body walking on the street, but without a soul. So that thing really, that thing like really make me think, okay, I think I need to slow down a little bit. So last year, I decided to slow down and reflect on what had brought me to this state and what I could do to get the happy me back. So after much of consideration from both financial and mental health perspective, I made a difficult decision to sunset the No2 this year. But actually, after I'm making that decision, I felt a sense of relief, because I think although it's a point that I need to close down something in this journey, but at the same time, I'm excited for the next chapter of my career. Although I don't know what's next for me, but at least that sense of feeling make me feel better, and I think I start to find myself back from mental perspective. And I want to bring out that I think mental health hasn't been a big topic in within like founders and CEO, because it's kind of the sign of showing the weakness of the founder or CEO. But I think the dynamics really change. I think for the mental health part is people start to discuss more and more. And for me, it's really important because I think when the mental health is not that good, I don't have so much energy to really do things or work on things I used to love. And I know myself how much and how good, how strong I am when I'm doing the things that I really love, like doing creative work, design work, creating amazing product. And for the last part is to be proud of myself, because for the process, definitely so many times I just like be upset about myself and talking down about myself. But actually, since I decided to sunset the business, I have been reflecting a lot. And because I was able to take a step back and look at what happened for the past 4 to 5 years, and I just realized I actually learned a lot and grow a lot. I think what I learned for the past, from the experience, is the things I will never learn if I still working in design industry. Because I think for working in design industry, it's definitely a safe place for me to just keep climbing on higher and higher. But I don't think that's the life I want, because I think I'm still young. At least I try and fail in earlier life. If I want to go back to creative agency, I can go back anytime. And I don't regret anything about all the mistake and how good the brand is and how far I've come to this point. And for this, I just need to be proud of myself. So yes, so although like right now I don't have any, right now for my plan next is go back to creative industry, but at the same time I still haven't gave up my entrepreneur dream. I'm still looking for the next thing I can build, but at the same time go back to where I was, and maybe in the next chapter, the journey, next journey, I will meet new people, I'll get new ideas, or I will just encounter something that I didn't even think about. So that's what's next. And here is where you can find me. And also because the No2 is sunsetting, so actually the brand is having a simple sale right now until end of the year. And here's my journey and experience. Hope you guys enjoy, and I hope I can inspire you in any ways. Thank you so much.
Swin, oh my gosh, thank you. Like, absolutely amazing. I'm so honored and grateful that you came to this tonight. Folks, if you have any questions, please do raise your Zoom hands. I'll call in you a second. But I want to start off with the Q&A. I don't even know if I have any questions other than just say thank you and tell you again that your story is just incredible. You're a true entrepreneur, and when we first met, I knew that immediately. And you can absolutely do anything. I guess my question for you is, looking back on the experience, which was filled with ups and downs and lots of learning, what is there anything you would completely do differently to make the number two successful? Was there like one big thing that you just like, oh, we really screwed that up? Is there anything that you that comes to mind?
Yes, I do. So I'll say that will be looking up for a partner that doing the work that I'm not most good at. That part is running a business. Because for a creative mind, that is so different from running a business. Like even the mindset is so different. For example, like I mentioned before, for a creative, I want to building really good product. But when it comes to budget managing, that's like really conflict in my mind. And if there's like two, like if I have a partner really working on building a business, and I can really focus on how we can grow the number two from product side or creative side, I think that maybe the result will be different today.
Beautiful. I love it. Thank you, Swin. We'll go to Kelly, then Carrie. Kelly.
Yeah, Swin, what a story. I mean, I don't know if you're aware, Stanford did a study that 61%, 61 or 70, 71% of founders suffer depression. A huge number of those, more than one would hope, have actually had suicidal thoughts. It is a brutal, undertaking to be a entrepreneur. One of the things that I think we found is that entrepreneurs need peers that are going through the same thing that they're going through, and they're insanely difficult to find, out there. How many people are actually really committed to starting up a company? Not people who are just trying to make it a little extra buck, but the ones that are just so mission driven and really are passionate about what they're doing. During your journey, did you have that opportunity? Did you meet, fellow mission driven entrepreneurs that you could actually, not just compare notes, but cry on each other's shoulders from time to time? Did you have that kind of peer group?
So yes, I did have that kind of group. So I was in a female entrepreneur cohort 2 years ago. So it was all bunch of female entrepreneur and working in all totally different industry. But because of that group, like everyone is supportive, and I think everyone's entrepreneur, they know how stressful they are. So a lot of times when I share my feeling with my friends, they don't probably understand the process or how stressful it is versus sharing with a group of female entrepreneur. They know your struggle because the struggle is like really from looks like easy day-to-day tasks is actually all very stressful for all the entrepreneur. So I do have those groups to share, but at the same time, I will say, because sharing my emotion to people, like I'm still learning it. I do have that group, but a lot of times I still kind of just take it on my own. And so I do had a period of time that I had a therapist to work with. And I think that really helped with me a little bit. But actually there's one thing that really helped me a lot is meditation, because the therapy told me just to meditate, how you to calm down your nerve and just like clean your thoughts. And I started doing that. I really see the benefit, and I still doing it right now.
Well, good for you. And thank you for the story. And there's not a lot of people who have the kind of courage to get up there and talk about this stuff, but it's real. And, it's being a successful entrepreneur is not a linear equation. It is fraught with a lot of left and right turns along the way. And a lot of, as Dean Maris, who's on this chat, says, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. He goes, I could show you every scar on my back to prove it. And, it's a tough gig. So the good news is, like, I know tonight you've got a lot of people here who are entrepreneurs or are entrepreneur support, but everybody here has got the same sort of belief, which is we support entrepreneurs. So whatever you do next time, Come back. We will surround you with people that will help you get successful.
Thank you. I'm going to cry.
Thanks, Kelly. Hey, Swin, could you do me a favor if you could stop the screen share?
Okay.
And then we'll go to Carrie. Kelly, thank you.
Okay.
Carrie, you're up.
How can I stop sharing? Hold on a second. Can you like turn off my sharing on your side, Todd?
I can figure out how to do that, yes. Good to go. Hey, Carrie.
Yeah. Hi, Swin. It's a beautiful story, and it shows how much you've been through, and I'll give you an applause for that. It's something really worth doing. But my question to you is, when you were going into this, I'm sure you had what you saw in mind, other than just the opportunity that it presented itself. I'm sure you also found that what the solution you're bringing forth was solving problems, actually solving problems that were existing and making life better. So to me, my question to you is like, don't you think it's better to separate yourself personally from that's the solution that you brought to humanity, and then now you're sunsetting that it's not going to exist. So you're still taking away the solution that you brought into life. So why don't you think if there's a better way you can separate yourself from the solution, so the solution continues to live, while you as a person uh, can stay in the design process and keep on creating and thinking of how to make life better, and then let the business of it, because at the end of the day, it's going to boil down to business. The business has to keep on thriving, so it can actually help people and keep on being a solution.
So your question, sorry, because it's a little bit breaking up.
Yeah, my question to you is, did you find a way to separate yourself from the solution that you provided to the world instead of sunsetting the whole thing?
So your question is why I decided to sunset the business instead of like see the solution, how the business can run.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I will say on that part, because I have been drained, especially for the last 2 years, like mentally, emotionally, and with that circumstances, I really couldn't focus on what I'm doing. And for the truth of the business, like still it's a running business, it's an eyewear business, it's not a creative agency, it's not a creative industry. So running business still take a big part of it. And before I look for other partners, I still need to spend a lot of time just running business, and somehow to a point I just need to slow down. Otherwise, I think like I can get into a route that for design, I couldn't even work on design. Just like my mental state is in the space that I couldn't do much of the thing that time. So that's why I decided to slow down. But if there are chances that there's good partners and good partners or maybe good resource, there are chances that the number two can still come back. It doesn't have to be the number two eyewear brand, but if this product, because this product really helps people. There are so many customers, not necessarily for the first time they wear the glasses, but after a couple of months, they will tell me they can really feel the difference, because for glasses, you still need to wear for so many days to really feel it. And it really improve people's experience when it comes to wear eyewear. So I think, so to your question is, it's really more on, because my state of mental health, really, I couldn't really focus on or really make the number to keep growing. But I think a lot of times what's a really important things to do is to slow down, because a lot of times today for me, I'm able to share so many experience, no matter it's high or no matter it's down. It's all because I slow myself down and take a step back to reflect what happened. So I think for right now is I take a pause, but it doesn't mean I will take pause forever. I still want to create something, and maybe the number two will still come back, but just not for this year, maybe not next year, but maybe 2 years later. I don't know, because I think sometimes take a break is a good thing to really see things clearly. And for my next journey, maybe I'll meet new people, see new ideas, maybe I will even better idea for the number 2.
Thanks, Carrie. Victor, and then Carol.
Yes, Swin, thanks so much for presenting to us tonight and sharing your journey. I really have a couple of remarks and maybe a question at the end. It was a pleasure to talk with you a little bit in the breakouts and make you laugh. What I want to tell you is your self-awareness is remarkable. You seem to know yourself well, having gone through this journey, and maybe at other points in your life where you knew when to slow down, and I admire you for that. It's not just the courageous decision, but it's the self-awareness that you need to hang on to as you go forward to whatever's next. Okay. The second thing, the emotions, the dark days, the depression thoughts, whatever that range of emotions is that's not on the positive side, right? The things that are not uplifting. I would suggest that when you feel that way, look over your shoulder or look to your side and just realize, look what you did. Many of us don't have an experience of having designed and engineered and marketed and gotten recognition for a product through truly having studied a problem that nobody else has studied the way you have and found a solution the way nobody else has found a solution you have. And it's not just pride. It's the idea that as real as those dark thoughts can be, everything that you've achieved is real. It doesn't go away. And the better news is nobody can take that away from you, ever. You did that. So always hang on to that. Okay?
Thank you.
I looked on the website before tonight and I thought the designs were really cool. I had no idea of your story, but I was quite impressed with the designs, and even more impressed tonight with the engineering and all the thought that went into it. So one last remark. I'm not going to ask it as a question because you don't know the answer. You don't know what you're going to do next. But I want to tell you, aside from everything that you know you've learned, I'm going to give you an observation that you studied this and you have knowledge that maybe no one else has. And you said something very early in the presentation about the eyewear business becoming, or maybe already is, an online business. But while you were presenting, I took a quick look at something like ordering online glasses. And I saw that basically the consumer is there with the ruler and the measuring tool trying to figure out how to measure their pupils so they can add the data into their order and get the perfect set of glasses. And then I thought about it, things that we've seen here and elsewhere about how something like facial recognition works with all of the points digitized and taking measurements. And I thought to myself, whether it's next or next decade for you, whatever it may be, you have a unique now knowledge that you could, if it excites you, further conceive into how to digitize the whole thing and sell your solution to the entire eyewear industry. So the point in that is, don't look down on what you've done. Look at what you've done, look at what you know, look at where it could go as you kind of search for whatever it is you're going to do next, but don't ignore what you know and what you've learned, because there may be an opportunity that excites you even more than the product that you've developed. It's an intriguing world out there. And wouldn't it be cool if somebody just had, like you see the blue jeans, right? Take a picture and you get the custom fit blue jeans. Maybe you could transform the eyewear industry to something along those lines for the measuring and sizing. You've already done the sort of preview appearance, but that other piece I don't think has been solved just based on a quick look. So I'm talking a little too much, but just don't lose yourself in any of this. And if you start to get lost, just look over your shoulder and look at what you've done.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
And thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Thanks, Victor. Carol, then we'll go to Simon.
Okay, it's always tough to follow Victor because he has so many insights.
Right.
And my sense about, I'm going to lower my hand here, is that basically I came from an entrepreneurial family. And so I can relate to you in terms of being entrepreneurial. And I've gone through different iterations, and I'm on my fourth career. First was metalsmithing, and I did end up doing my own work. And then I worked for someone else. And then next one was because I thought I needed to really know more about business. And I had a strong, I'm going to say, mathematical background, not financial. I went for an MBA in finance, did fine, got work into banking for about 10 years. And then I went into law because banking was shrinking. What I'm going to tell you is that you have so many talents and so many, as Victor put it, opportunities really that you can pursue, and you should. From my perspective, when I found myself in an entrepreneurial state and I ended up going into a law firm my own for a few years, and actually it worked out very well. But then I said, I'm on my own and I really need some help. I went into a large law firm, Reed Smith, and now I'm in a medium-sized law firm. In any case, the big deal is that you have to understand, and I think what Victor said was you've got real, almost totally great engineering with your glasses. I'd love to get my oval glasses through your #2 company, but it sounds like not going to happen with your being at the head of the helm, but that's okay. You may come, again, do something more. At the end of the day, you are young enough and you've got so much in the way of smarts and the ability to be flexible, and you are flexible. So you should pursue all of that. And certainly if any of us can be helpful with what we can do to help you, we're here because, gosh, you've got a great story, and thank you so much. Can't even begin to tell you how inspirational you are at my old age to say, gee, I'm on my fourth career and I'm still happy. But it's for certain, there's no question that it takes a while to get there. Each time you're doing it, it's definitely, you've got to go through the boos and the ahs, and you're doing it. So thank you so much. It was great to have you in our session with Victor. Thank you.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. And I want to add on what you just mentioned, because for me, being creative and loving doing design doesn't have to limit it what I used to know. So that's why I pivot from brand design, doing website, doing digital experience, to physical eyewears. And I think I'm really creative person. I still have lots of ideas going on, but not exactly knows what idea. But I truly believe what I'm doing right now is connecting dots. Just like you said, maybe it just takes time. Then when the dots all connected, I will see the bigger picture, why I am there when that time comes.
Well, I'm an old girl. I'm going to be 74. So, and I've had all these careers, and I can tell you right now, each one of them has had their ups and downs. But at the end of the day, I'm still happy that I've, and let me tell you, it's, all I can say is you will do it. And if there's anything we can do to support that, we're happy to be here for you. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Carol. Saima, and then we'll go back to Kelly.
Hi, Swin. I just wanted to really recognize and applaud your courage for sharing the mental health piece. There's a lot of stigma around it, especially in the entrepreneur community, where you've got to, be really strong and nothing can beat you. And it takes a lot of courage to share that, and also talk about, seeking the right interventions and then finding what really works for you. I worked in mental health for 13 years before my current role. And I think what's really puts you in the limelight is your growth mindset. And I think, like you said, you're young and you definitely have a very bright future. You're a great human. And I just wanted to like, applaud your courage for sharing everything you did. And I hope that gives other individuals in our community the same kind of courage to talk about it, because I think in numbers we can always help each other out. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Selma.
Thanks, Saima. Kelly, and then we'll go to Dean.
Yeah, I just wanted to follow up, and I'm Carol and I are from the same generation, and I've done about 13 companies for them. I've had some pretty good exits, and by all measure, I've been a success as an entrepreneur. But if you look at my batting average, I'm probably an average baseball player, right? About 250, 260. I feel like since Dean's going next, I should actually introduce him. The great Dean Maris, everything he touches turns to gold. But for our mere mortals, we do go through a lot as an entrepreneur. And I just wanted to mention that to you that your first shot out of the cannon was pretty impressive. And Divya and I, who's somewhere on this call, Divya and I have a company out of Australia, and one of the things that Divya is investigating right now is how do we score for debt purposes? How do we score entrepreneurs as opposed to like the way the bank would score you, right? And when we look at entrepreneurs, do we say that okay, they have a one under their belt, but it didn't do so well? Do we score you higher than we would score the first entrepreneur? If this were your first time, if you have two that didn't go well, and now you're on your third, do we score you even higher, or do we score you, or you scored lower? My sense is that what you've done thus far, even though you're sunsetting it, I'll say two things about that. Number one is it makes you vastly more investable as an entrepreneur than if this were your first time out. So what you did actually was to create a significant amount of value. And I forgot what the second point was because I am of Carol's generation and that happens a lot. But I do want to say that I'm so impressed with you, and I said that before, but I really want to make sure you understand before you get off this call here, that what you did had so much value and you seem to have that attitude, and you seem to certainly have that self-awareness that this was actually a good experience. From an outsider who invests in companies, I see what you went through as an incredible plus, a value add, not that oh my God, I did it and it didn't work out well, so maybe I'm, not so marketable now. You are incredibly marketable. And my last question is, where are you?
I'm in New York.
In New York. Okay, that was your problem. You should have been in LA. Yeah. Anyway, I have no question. I just want to throw that out there. You've got a tremendous gift, and you've got a tremendous bit of experience under your belt that actually makes you more attractive as an entrepreneur than prior.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly. Dean, and then Kenneth.
Yeah, hey Swin, what a machine you are. I mean, I'm with Kelly. I was thinking about that because Craig and I are going to be crazy and start doing another startup, and your experience, and it was exactly when it was so bizarre that Kelly was before me, because I was literally thinking about the investability of people, because I'm thinking right now of who am I going to choose for my company. Who am I going to choose for the roles of the finance? Who's going to be the person that's going to help build the product that you can trust? Who's going to be the person who's going to look after, say, if we're doing tech, which we do, engineering, and pulling the right people? My question to you is, and scars on our back, because one, in the next week we won't be able to pay someone, we won't be able to do payroll. That's where we got to. So being in that stress, but the biggest thing on the mental health side, I was so lucky I had Craig, my twin brother. So you had another person, so it was a real the whole is this, the whole's bigger than some of the parts. And it's a real shame. I think your learning would probably be that you'd want to have someone that you could lean in on really, really closely. Now, my question, if you're doing this again, which I think you should, with the right resources and the right money, if you did it again, would you need 3 times the money that you had to spend And would you, and who would be the players on the field that you think that would de-risk your business failing and having the right people and have a chances of higher than 80% of actually being successful? So players on the field, who would you choose? And if you're doing the money side, how much more would you need? You don't need to say the number, but in terms of multiples, how much more do you think? I know in my mind what it is. I'd love to hear with you.
To be honest, I don't have that answer right now. But in terms of, let's say, okay, if 3 times of the budget that I had that time, and I can say what I can improve that can really help the brand growth. And I think it's definitely the customer experience because, for example, right now it's an online business and eyewear is a physical product. So how we can gap the bridge like without people touching eyewear. So like, for example, there is like 3D facial feature that is happening in the market. And for example, if I can do something like Warby Parker's free try on and return, those really gain the experience from customer perspective. And that can definitely accelerate the growth of the #2 eyewear. But the reality of that is really the cost of developing those experience and those experience.
So would you think if you're from your original budget, would you need 3 times, 4 times what you would go in again? Like let's say you were going right on raise money. I need 3 times or 4 times more than what you originally ended up by spending.
Yes.
Because I would have thought it'd be at least 3 to 4 times. Craig and I, ours was like 6 or 7 because we're also doing hardware, and like you, and it's always freaking lot more expensive. Like it was, that part was just ridiculously more expensive. The software side was much more controllable. So that's why I was just thinking at least we were like 7 times more than what we originally did on the hardware side. And just the people, like if the people to help you build that business, like you love doing the creative.
Yes.
Would you love to have had what's in operations, marketing? What would you wanted?
So you mean on the creative side of things?
Let's say that's your baby. You want to do, if you did it again, that's that's your happy place. Creative.
Yeah.
Now you need someone to worry about the money. You need someone to worry about the sales.
Right.
What would that look like? What would that team look like if you were doing it again? Because you've got a scar on your back now.
So I will say definitely I'll focus on the creative side, making a lot of products because the for the collection is limited as you can see right now because it takes time to developing more lines, and before that the company needs to create enough product in order to develop more products. So that's one of the creative side. And I will say one besides the creative side, marketing is the things I will also really focus on because marketing is creative. And one of the biggest learning is that without marketing, without people knowing your brand, the brand doesn't have any value. So marketing is a big part of things. I would say it takes like 60% of what you earn. Basically, you just put it into market. But the thing for independent small business is just hard to compete with those big companies. They have thousands of dollars just put into different marketing channel in short amount of time. Like no matter where you are, you just keep seeing them. And as for independent brands, just hard. And I think those are the things on the creative side I will definitely focus on. And for the operation, for running business, maintain the relationship with vendors, with retail, with the manufacturer. And I hope people, because that's not about creative, in my opinion. It's really
you give other people to do it.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dean. Always a pleasure. Kenneth, and then we'll go to Jian.
Yeah, hi Swin. I just wanted to say thank you for the talk. Your story was very inspirational, honestly.
Thank you.
And very much appreciate you talking about, you going through your mental health because, a lot of entrepreneurs, especially the successful ones, fail to mention that, they're human also. And that, part of running a business is actually, fighting your own demons. And I feel like your story, really exemplifies the notion of, you're the culmination of, all your successes and failures, right? Even though this wasn't a failure, and it may seem like in the moment, like, you have something very valuable that others don't. Now, my question was more catered towards the engineering, right? And one of my biggest takeaways was I wanted to know how you kind of got to the point where, because as a designer, you're passionate about a certain idea in your mind, right?
Mhm.
But you emphasize human-centered design, right?
Mhm.
So I wanted to understand how you came to like the middle of like, okay, what you thought like was a good design and what like spoke to you versus the results you got back from, doing user research, and how you came to that middle ground of like, okay, the users are saying this, right? We're gonna go with that approach, but I also, as a designer, the designer in me, the engineer in me wants to,
Mhm.
feels like the user isn't really considering this, right? So how do you kind of balance that? I think that's basically my question.
So you mean balance what the customer wants versus when the design and engineer that has some kind of limitation, how to balance with these two?
Exactly. Exactly.
Got it. So I will say, because I'm definitely a customer myself, wearing glasses basically all of my life. And then that's one of the positive things about the whole experience. Like even before the customers, I already have so much problem with it. And after all the process of researching and user testing, I realized those pretty much the same problem I have. Like everyone has it on different points of things. And when it comes to engineering, I would say it's definitely a lot of prototypes, because like, for example, some engineering, maybe like the durability of the construction of the frame, it will be more durable, but maybe it requires more materials. With more materials means the production cost gonna be higher. So we have to really find a good balance, still have that durability and still meet customers customers exact customers what customers wants in terms of the experience. So I will say, actually, on the engineer side, I didn't compromise that, but it's more of compromise on the cost of product versus what feature can be released right now. But on the engineer side, actually, there wasn't much of compromising on the end.
Okay. And just to follow up,
Yeah.
what did you deem? Because okay, you're compromising on, certain costs, right? So
Right.
how did you understand which categories were the most important? Because obviously you're not compromising on the categories that are the most important,
Mm-hmm.
affect the user the most, right?
Right.
So how did you kind of determine which categories were most important? That makes sense.
Yes. So I would say the most important thing for users to wear the glasses is definitely the fit, the comfort of it. That's the main key thing. So I cannot give up the comfort on that. And in terms of, so what can be compromised? Maybe, for example, the material of the earpiece is silicone, but if I want to use an even better material, maybe it become different kinds of silicone, but it's still silicone. That kind of things is what I compromise. Or for example, the lens, there's all different kinds of lens in terms of the different kinds of pricing. So what I need to compromise, I still need to pick the one. It needs to be higher than middle ground, but maybe it's not like, oh, super high end. It requires like 3 times of the costing budget of the lens. So for me, it's like the compromise is I hope to have more option in the future, that there's a different price range in terms of feature that customer can choose. What do they want? It's like you walk into the store and the staff inside will tell you, okay, you have this kind of lens, it costs $100. You have this kind of lens costing $500. So I would say that's more of the compromise I do on the cost of some small parts, but definitely not compromise on the comfort and fit and functionality on the eyewear.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kenneth. Jen.
Oh
Jen?
yeah. Oh, thank you,
Sure.
Todd. Thank you. Hi, I'm here. Sorry about yeah, it's great talk, Swin, especially that you reveal how as a designer, what you really put it on the market that you want it the way. And then normally we cannot see it, but you actually open it up to us. That's great. So related question, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Related question about designing with your businesses. I would think, what was the major reason for you to put on Sunset? Is not the resources, or have you thinking different way to carry on these businesses?
So the reason why I decided to sunset, so I will say definitely the main thing is two parts. So actually the business has been kind of a struggle, like although it survived, but still struggling. So I think just from financial part, it's really hard for 5 years, and especially for startup, it's always struggle. And without much of funding, that's really one of the main issue. And then on the other side is in terms of from mental health perspective, because I think to a state that I couldn't really focus on what I'm doing, and I'm being motivated and unproductive. So I think from these 2 points, I decided to sunset the business. But for me, it's kind of take a pause. Again, like I haven't given up my entrepreneur dream. There's definitely something for me to do. Yeah. But yeah.
Right. Well, that was good. That was good. Because you overstressed. That is how the we normally I would see how the depressed is, because you overworked yourself. And then so by the company already on the market and are you still running, have you thought about different way to turn it around?
I actually thought of it, and
for example, change another CEO,
like for example, looking for a partner, or really looking into like funding, that kind of thing. And I think one of the big things, I decide not to do it because they're gonna be another journey of running a business, and it's still not creative. And I think I have been drained by not doing creative for the past.
I see. So you are standing on your principle of as a designer, and then you stay on your principle of comfortableness. Those that you don't want to compromise, right?
I won't say I don't want to compromise, but it's more on, I know how stronger and how much energy, how much things I can do when I'm doing the things I'm really good at.
Right.
I know, yeah. So
for the future of your company, do you think there's because business, there's multiple ways that you can do much better situation as you are, much better outcome, we would say, as you are right now, because you're right now just on the plateau, right?
Yes.
You don't wish getting better, or you don't wish getting worse. So, at this point, what do you think are you going to be taking next step? Do you have any idea, or you need somebody give you advisory? We have so many people here able to help you out.
Yeah. So for next step, to be honest, like the close thing I can see is like go back to, I mean, from reality, we all still need to make a living. So I think I will go back to creative market, but at the same time, keep looking for what I can do next. And in terms of advice, yes, I think there's in the process, I think there's one part of it, I think it might change the result if I have a mentor in building a business. Maybe it will be different because I'm kind of on my own or join those entrepreneur group, but that's still different from being a mentor that have people who with bunch of experience guiding you what to do. Because I just to be very transparent, I feel very disoriented when building a business because so many things is all my first time. So I'm doing at the same time learning, and a lot of times I wasn't even sure the decision I make is good or right, but I just do it because without doing it, I couldn't know. But for a long time, the process has been this. And this is also one of the part that has driven myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many ways you
Yes.
can just use your platform and then to make you know, much easier way to get out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're interested, I can give you a bunch.
Okay.
But thank you so much. This is great. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Jen. Looking at the time, Susan.
Yeah, Swin, oh my goodness. I mean, first of all, thank you. Thank you for being so honest. Secondly, such an inspiration. I mean, there are many people on this call, including myself, that have learned to be stoic and not talk about things. So this is such a lovely self-awareness you have, and a lovely willingness to share yourself. It's a huge inspiration for me and others. I'm actually now on a committee that's looking at mental health in the construction industry. We have the second highest suicide rate of any industry in the United States. Very little known fact. And a lot of it is because we're such stoics about it. So thank you for being that inspiration. It's incredible. And Kelly said this as well. I mean, this is an amazing community that we have here. So please, please come back, hang with us. There are plenty of people that can be your mentor, plenty of people that can just be a shoulder for you to cry on, and have you be a shoulder for us to cry on as well. I'm in the middle of a startup, so I'm, feeling all the feelings that you described. And so would love to have you here. And then always a question of what can we do for you? How might we help you?
So I will say, if anyone has some ideas, I would love to chat and see what we can make next.
Great. Awesome.
Yeah.
Be careful, because we're all going to take you up on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Swin, Susan, thank you. Swin, this is really amazing. You've heard this from several folks here tonight. When you are ready for the next idea, whether you call it like the number 3 or the number 5, because we're not going to use number 4, we're totally here for you. So please do, come here. We're here every week. Please join us. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to end the recording. We're going to stick around for some overtime, but just as a little reminder, next week is Thanksgiving in the United States, so we won't be here. Well, we might, click the link. Someone might be here, but we don't have a planned session. December 4th is Anna Cheniuntai. Am I pronouncing her name correctly? The founder and CEO of Apis. That's going to be an epic session. Thank you all for coming. Please stick around for some overtime.